Starfield was supposed to be Bethesda's magnum opus, a sprawling universe filled with limitless possibilities. Is it the groundbreaking space RPG we were promised, or just another overhyped disappointment? Let's break it down in today's video. Starfield is Bethesda Game Studios' first new IP in over 2 decades, and it arrived with an astronomical amount of hype. The game was heralded as a genre-defining space exploration RPG combining Skyrim's immersive world building with Fallout's narrative depth. All of this was set in a vast, open universe. The idea of a Bethesda-crafted galaxy ignited excitement and anticipation among gamers. But now that it's been out for a while, is Starfield truly the masterpiece we hoped for, or does it buckle under the weight of its promises? In this video, we're diving deep into Starfield, analysing its features, breaking down its strengths and weaknesses, and exploring why, for many players, it didn't quite live up to the hype. Bethesda Game Studios is no stranger to high expectations. With titles like The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim and Fallout 3, they've built a reputation for creating expansive, immersive worlds that stand the test of time. Skyrim in particular remains a benchmark for open-world RPGs, while Fallout's post-apocalyptic landscapes brought a unique charm to the genre. When Bethesda initially announced Starfield, fans were ecstatic. It was their first new IP in 25 years, a game promising to take the studio's expertise to the next level by delivering a universe filled with endless exploration and storytelling opportunities. However, the road to the release was riddled with delays and lofty claims, each one piling on more pressure than the one before.
Something's wrong with the game, I can't quite put my finger on it.
It can't be all that bad though, Todd.
Well, crafting is worse, outposts are worse, companions will constantly moan at you, perks are worse, there's fewer gear slots, I could go on and on.
By the time launch date arrived, the expectations of this title were sky high, perhaps too high. At a first glance, Starfield appears to offer a dream package for space exploration enthusiasts. Let's delve into some of the core features of the game. Starting off, you've got the open world design. Starfield boasts over 1,000 planets to explore. These worlds are procedurally generated, with a few handcrafted locations standing out. The sheer scale is staggering, but does bigger always mean better, really? Then you have the space travel mechanics. Bethesda promised a seamless interstellar experience with fully customizable ships and the freedom to chart your own courses through the stars. However, this freedom is often limited by a reliance on fast travel. Character customization. Starfield's character creation system is among the most detailed Bethesda has ever offered. From physical traits to background stories and skills, you can craft a unique character that suits your playstyle. And of course, the quest systems. As we all expected, the game features branching narratives and side quests. Bethesda's storytelling is present, but the depth and variety of these quests largely seem very inconsistent with one another. These features sound incredible on paper, but how do they hold up in practice? Let's start off by talking about the pros in Starfield. Obviously, we've got to start with the graphics and the art design. Starfield delivers some genuinely stunning visuals. The handcrafted planets show beautiful biomes, atmospheric lighting, and intricate details. Space itself, with its starfield, nebula, and distant galaxies, feel vast and awe-inspiring. The graphic fidelity is a significant step up for Bethesda from their previous titles. The scope and ambition. The sheer scale of the game is very ambitious. With over 1,000 planets to visit, the concept of exploring such a vast universe, landing your ship on uncharted worlds, and uncovering their secrets is undeniably appealing. The soundtrack. The music in Starfield is perfect. It's an absolute highlight for me, capturing the wonder and the mystery of space. The orchestral score elevates moments of exploration, adding emotional depth to an otherwise sparse experience. Now, let's move on to talk about what doesn't make Starfield such a great game. Starting off, of course, with a game that's released in present time, the bugs and the technical issues. Despite being touted as Bethesda's most polished game to date, Starfield still suffers from an array of technical problems. These range from minor graphical glitches to significant bugs that disrupt gameplay. For many, these issues obviously break immersion and remind players of Bethesda's infamous history with unpolished launchers. Next, we move on to the story pacing. Long and short, the main story feels underwhelming. It lacks the compelling hooks and emotional weight of Bethesda's previous games. Fetch quests dominate the narrative, and key plot points are often lost in a sea of monotonous objectives. Next, the gameplay mechanics. More specifically, we're going to be talking about the space travel and the combat in the game. What should have been the game's defining feature is one of its biggest disappointments. Fast travel dominates the experience, making space feel less like a vast frontier and more like a series of disconnected locations. Then, the combat. Both space combat and ground combat feel very outdated for a game of its time. The controls are clunky, the AI is lackluster, and the overall experience lacks the intensity and excitement seen in modern RPGs. And last but not least, exploration fatigue. While the universe is massive, much of it is lifeless and feels lifeless itself. The procedurally generated planets often lack meaningful content, leading to repetitive and hollow exploration. The excitement of landing on a new world quickly fades when there's little to discover beyond barren landscapes and generic outposts. I think that Starfield's shortcomings become even more evident when it's compared to its peers within the space exploration genre of gaming. First one immediately jumps to mind is No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky initially launched to widespread criticism for failing to deliver on its promises, but its redemption arc has been remarkable, which I will be covering in a later video, so make sure if you haven't already, click the subscribe button and turn on notifications if you want to see that video first. Today, No Man's Sky offers seamless planet-to-space transitions, a vibrant and colourful art style, and a profound sense of discovery. Exploration feels organic, and every planet holds the potential for unique and rewarding experiences. By contrast though, Starfield's segmented design, reliance on menus for navigation, and lack of seamless travel undermine the sense of immersion. Where No Man's Sky emphasises player freedom, Starfield often feels like it's holding your hand. The next game I'm going to be talking about is the biggest heavy hitter in space exploration games to date, which is Mass Effect. The Mass Effect trilogy, developed by BioWare, is a masterclass in storytelling and character development. Players forge deep connections with their squad members, and every choice feels weighty and impactful. Starfield's characters, in comparison, lack depth and memorable qualities. While Mass Effect's universe is definitely smaller in scale, it's packed with meaningful interactions, branching narratives, and more dilemmas that keep players engaged for longer. Starfield's attempt at a grand narrative pales in comparison, feeling more like a collection of loosely connected tasks than an epic space saga it claimed it would be on release. And the last game that we're going to compare this to today is Elite Dangerous. Now, Elite Dangerous captures the vast emptiness of space better than almost any other game you can think of. It thrives on realism, offering a more detailed simulation of interstellar travel, trading, and combat. While it may not have the narrative depth of Mass Effect or the visual flair of No Man's Sky, it excels in making players feel like true spacefarers. Starfield, again, by massive contrast, simplifies space travel to its bare minimum, to the point of redundancy, removing the challenge and wonder that games like Elite Dangerous excel at. So, to put it simply, by comparing Starfield to these titles, it becomes clear that while Bethesda aimed to create an all-encompassing space RPG, it struggles to excel in any one area. Each of the games mentioned in the comparison outshines Starfield in specific ways, leaving Starfield itself feeling like a jack of all trades, but a master of none. When I first tried playing Starfield, it was on my, what I would call a mid-range PC for the time of the game releasing. I was immediately struck by its poor optimization. Frame rates for me were abysmally low, making the game nearly unplayable. It wasn't until after upgrading my PC I expected a transformative experience. While performance did improve for the most part, the game itself remained underwhelming and still seemed to struggle for frames at the best of times. The universe felt sterile with little to engage me beyond surface level exploration. Repeatedly landing on barren planets with nothing to do became a real chore for me. The quests lacked depth and intrigue I've come to expect from Bethesda games. Despite investing significant time trying to carry on playing the story and the game in general, I found myself dreading each play session, hoping for a spark of excitement. To this day, I've yet to still finish the game because I simply can't muster the interest to want to finish it. Starfield, long and short, is a game of contradictions. It's an ambitious project that succeeds in creating a visually stunning universe but fails to populate it with engaging content. Its potential is undermined by technical issues, uninspired storytelling, and a gameplay loop that often feels more tedious than rewarding. For hardcore Bethesda fans, or those with a deep love of space exploration, there are moments of enjoyment to be found, but for most players, Starfield represents a missed opportunity. A game that aimed for the stars but fell short of the mark. Because of all this, I'd have to rate the game a 5 out of 10. Visually impressive, but ultimately shallow and disappointing from the get-go. What about you? Did Starfield live up to your expectations, or were you left disappointed like me? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below, and if you're into gaming insights and reviews, please make sure to check out some of the rest of my videos I've been doing recently. We've started doing more review sort of content for you, with the games that I've been playing in my spare time, and just games that I find interesting to talk about. That's all my time for today though. Don't forget to like, subscribe if you're new, and make sure you hit that notification bell to stay up to date with all the content that's going to be released in the future. Thank you for watching, I will see you all next time.